Hello team. I wanted to put together this video about where the value comes from in engaging an advisor because it's a really common question that we get. I think it's completely natural if you're thinking about spending money on getting someone to help you with your money. You want to know like where how much is it going to really cost you. And from our experience, we know that good advice is a profit center, not a cost, because it will make you more money than what you pay for it. So I wanted to share with you a couple of the ways that you can see now with advice value that there's a I'm going to show some numbers here. We know that there's a lot of things outside of this, so I am just calling that out. And often a lot of those non-financial benefits can be worth even more than the numbers, but that I appreciate that it's a numbers and cents game. So there's two calculators that I want to share with you and unpack. Now, this first one is basically looking at how much are you saving each year, how much cash do you have, and how much do you have in your superannuation. And then looking at what if we made some moves now to get that money invested more and better, basically today, compared to if we did that in a year's time, say. So these numbers are all editable and we can look at it in more detail. But essentially, we've got annual savings capacity, how much cash do you have to invest, and how much do you have in your super. So then we've looked at, well, what if you invest it today and how would that money grow over the next 20 years? What happens if we wait a year and do the same thing? You essentially see that you end up $70,000 better based on saving $2,000 a month. With the 30K lump sum, then it's the same, slightly smaller number to say, what does this mean? $5,000 over the year. We've broken that down into a monthly cost as well. And then with your superannuation, what if 30,000 is probably an unrealistic number for most people, but even just with $100,000, what happens if you invest that money, squeeze an extra 1% of return, which can be from better investments or from cost savings or a combination, what that actually looks like. So you see here that the cost of waiting in this example is $78,000 in just 12 months, which equates to a monthly cost of $6,500, pretty significant. Now, then there's another layer on top of this, because this is just the basics in saying, oh, you've got some money, let's get it invested and let's make sure it's invested well. What this calculator does is then it's the next layer beyond this to say, where are we investing it? And particularly around tax optimization to say that we can invest in your name. If you're in a couple, we can invest in joint names, or we can invest through a trust, through a bond and a trust. And you see here that there is a difference between all of these different tax structures in terms of what happens with your investment growth. Now, you see a small difference in the early days, but then you see that over time, by the time we get to years 10 and up to 20, the differences can be pretty significant. So a joint portfolio in this example, 800,000 compared to 986,000, doing that under a bond, 160 odd $1,000 of difference. And as I said, that there's a lot of things outside of this, but this is just two practical examples. We know that when you've got an advisor in your corner, you end up investing more and you invest sooner. And then we know that we can go another layer on that and make sure that your investments are optimized to give you the best after-tax return possible. So I hope you find that helpful. And any questions, of course, let us know. Happy to discuss in more detail.